Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Working in 222 and global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did it. Where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every girl, rubber rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
Yeah. Number 30, Derek Irvin, do you feel the weight? Reppin' UTSA legacy that we create. Didn't rise alone, now it's bigger than me. The whole fam roll, run the blood running deep. I wear that 30 for the squad, for the dreamers. Running uphill, but faith kept us believers. Gotta grind every minute, every play, it's a test. Chasing dreams, but success demands your very best. Dreams do come true, but they never come free. Every day the race do, gotta hustle to be the only thing that stop me. The man in the mirror, still reppin' number 30, UTSA, the vision clearer.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Forgot to add myself. That's crazy. First time that's ever happened. This is Rudy Campos Jr. Welcome to Throwdown Thursday. Sweep the League, the Throwdown Thursday edition. Reminders, tomorrow, Comic-Con, Big Texas Comic-Con starts over at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. I'm going to kind of be out there tomorrow for a little bit in the evening. We're going to be taking a little bit of video, trying to get, feel for everything. Then it's going to be myself, Derek Gervin, Shamaya on the beats. We're going to be out there on Saturday. We're going to be doing some streaming out there. We're going to be doing some videos, talking to everybody. We want y'all to visit us at our table. It's going to be at the front of the entrance, so be sure to head us up there. We'll be at our table. Get your Derek Gervin autographs as well. They're going to be asking a whole bunch, hopefully, from him on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll end Comic-Con. I'll be out there taking more video, talking to more people out there as well. So it's going to be this weekend, Comic-Con weekend. Let's bring on the Detroit and UTSA Hall of Famer Derek Gervin.
Oh, big
what's going on, man?
How you doing? I'm watching the end of this. Rudy.
You still watching the WNBA?
I'm watching the end of this Minnesota-New York game. 83-83 just now.
Wait a minute. It's still going on?
Everything's going well, man.
Okay, I just got a notification that it was a final for the WNBA game.
No, it's not a final. Should have been a foul on this three-pointer that the girl Courtney Williams just – they did call a foul. New York might be going to lose this game at the end. There's 5.5 seconds left. Minnesota
You mean to tell me my Minnesota pick might hold up? Wow.
They're the smartest team in the league, the scrappiest team. And I'm telling you this, Nafisha Collier won the Defensive Player of the Year. over Asia Wilson, and it was well earned. I think she's more versatile defensively than Asia. She can guard out on the perimeter more, and she's been kind of all over Breanna Stewart. So yeah, we got a series.
You think is Nafisa Collier best all-around player in the game?
Oh, without question.
I know Asia gets a lot of the love, but
man, Collier is the smartest player in the league. To me, by far, she's on both ends of the floor. She does everything right. So, I like all the other ladies. Asia had a great year defensively under that basket, but Collier's for me the best player in the WNBA.
Well, I'm gonna be happy if Minnesota holds on. I took them to win the series. You took the Liberty. I said I'm gonna take the Minnesota just to be different. So that's why I ended up taking Minnesota. But we were gonna get into our WNBA coverage. Game is still going on. 5.5 seconds, and it's so weird, Derek. I had a notification come across. Liberty win game 1, 83-80, and then you said, "Oh, they're still playing." I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's kind of weird." I
went to sleep. And here go the killer. They try to get the ball to Stewart, and I really don't think she wants it because she's being guarded by Collier again. So it's going to be interesting.
In this situation,
got to get the ball.
Isn't in this situation? Wouldn't you want Sabrina to have that shot? I mean, literally 5 seconds left.
For me, no. I move the ball around. I want Phoebich taking the last shot.
Okay.
Naomi Phoebich. Because if you move the ball around, somebody's going to get open. It's usually her in the corner, and she is as automatic as it gets. So let's see how this is the last play. They got it to Stewart, but look, she knocked it out. Did it go off of Breanna Stewart? Oh. Man, they're going to have the challenge and see, did she knock it off Breanna Stewart? I'm telling you. The coaches don't get it. That was the last play. She has to be a decoy in that situation. You don't want her getting the ball against Nafisa Collier. She's been all over Breanna the entire game.
WNBA playoffs they've been amazing so far. I've been loving watching them. This WNBA Finals is going to be a good one. You've got the team that's been the team all year in the Liberty, and right behind them has always been the Minnesota Lynx this year. So 1-2. I mean, you're talking about a great WNBA Finals right now. As it's going, they're still playing 5.5. If you guys out there see me cough a little bit or stutter on I've got allergies, so my throat's a little raw still, but I may have to take a sip of water or something like that. But before we get into some content, Derek, earlier today you were on Andy Everett's show on Ticket 760. How did all that go?
I think it was fantastic. I was on there for about 10 to 12 minutes. It was great, man. I've been wanting to be on the ticket. Hopefully you and I will be on our own show again, and they'll have competition because we're coming. But it was great. Andy it was a great interview. I want to thank him again. I got to talk about some of my Detroit days growing up. Talk about my brother and I playing one-on-one. So it was good. It was really good, man. That's been a good week for me. And then you and Shemaya doing your part. So
we're trying, man. We're trying. It's really all Shemaya. That's all it is. It's a lot.
Hey, Shemaya, man. Hey, man, look, for him to make that video as quick as he did.
I know. We just shot the video. We got home. All right, we're getting ready to do Sweep the League. It's all in there. I'm like, whoa, man. That's crazy stuff, man.
Hey, Rudy, they didn't call a foul. Now they calling a foul. They didn't call that foul. They called a foul on Fish Collier at the buzzer.
So it's personal foul committed by Kayla McBride.
Let's see here. Because the first time they didn't call it. That's got to be a foul.
Yeah, we are seeing that they are shooting 2, apparently, from what I'm understanding. So it's a foul on Kayla McBride.
That's got to be. Let me see. Did she block it? Ain't no way she blocked this again. Foul. Yeah, that's a foul.
Yeah.
It's been a great game, man. So I want to say hi to all the listeners. I hope you got to bear with us because we got some real hoops going on.
While we're watching the hoops, I'm going to bring this up because there's some more WNBA news, and we'll talk a little bit about that while you're watching the game right there. I want to talk about the WNBA make that announcement, man. You talked about it this week or last week, how in the first round, if you're going to do just the 3-game series, at least do 1-1-1, one home, one away, one back home, and that's going to be that they're going to do starting next year. The WNBA announces first round playoff format, best of 7 final series. It's about time. I'd love for them.
1-1-1 rule 2-2-1-1-1, like just like the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. And what I want to see eventually is I want to see that first round go to 5 games.
Yes, that's the
2-2-1
thing right there. I agree with you. If you keep watching these series, man, they're getting better and better. The talent level, Rudy, is off the charts.
Yeah,
and
really
that's what
is.
I'm impressed by. You know, we've got a lot of talk this year about Caitlin and Angel Reese, but man, it's been amazing. Hey, Rudy, they reviewing this like the end of the Miami Hurricanes football game.
Oh man, I hope
when they had
they don't overturn this call.
Was it a catch?
Well, we all know that it was a catch. There was no clear-cut evidence that Virginia Tech did not get that touchdown.
I'm with you. I say they couldn't overturn it, and I remember, and I'm a Miami guy.
Yeah,
I want this season. I've been on the Miami train, but there's no way they should have overturned that call. No. And now we're looking at this. That's got to be a foul. I'm gonna say they call a foul, but either way, it's whoever. Look how long they taking.
Yeah, they got to get it right. It's
they probably give them the home court advantage, man.
It's WNBA Finals. They got to get it right somehow, man. The big announcement too for the WNBA, besides the playoffs, Derek, was they're going to extend the regular season, increase it to 44 games for all the teams now. So going to 44 games, the regular season, they're expanding. Obviously, they're adding 2 more teams. They're expanding. It's going to be a great season coming for 2025. I'm excited for the WNBA season to get here. I mean, this season was exciting. Yeah, a lot of it had to do with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the rookies coming in, but you got more rookies coming in next year. It's going to be a great WNBA season, as you can tell by the WNBA.
That means they have to increase the pay because now they're playing 4 more games in the regular season, which is going to set the playoffs back a little bit. And for those women that go play overseas, so they're going to have to be compensated for it. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to remember they have that big TV deal that's going to kick in too. So, I mean, the raises got to come for all the WNBA.
I'm talking big raises.
Yeah.
The minimum wage, the minimum pay needs to go up. It should go up a lot. Yeah, and I want to see that. Not just the best players get rewarded. Overtime.
Going to overtime in the WNBA. All right. Overtime for the WNBA Finals. Let's get the score right there, 84-84.
Let's get with it, my man. I'm ready to go. What's the next subject? I'm with it.
Now we're just bringing up the things coming up for the WNBA. The format going to be changing to 1-1-1, one home, one away, one home. That's going to be a good one. 7 games in the finals. Eventually, we want to see them to go to 5 games. There's no doubt about that. 44 games going to be increased for the WNBA per team. You're right. It's got to be pay raises across the board. There's no doubt about that. You're adding more games.
They've earned it. I mean, I'm just hoping to. Yeah, they've earned it. So, I mean, if you look at it, all the first round I didn't like because I just don't think it's fair where you play the first 2 games on the home court of the team with the best record. But to see them rectify that and then add 4 more games, that means that the game is here to stay, the WNBA. At one time, you heard people talking about would they be able to survive without help from the NBA. Well, I think our questions have been answered. The WNBA is on its way up.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, not to say the NBA is not going to support them. I mean, the NBA is still supporting the WNBA, but it's starting to get more and more of a feel where the WNBA is becoming its own product.
And on their own, yes.
We just saw Juju Watkins getting that big Nike deal. So, I mean, you're seeing a lot of stuff happen with the WNBA. It's going in the right direction. I'm very proud of that. I just want to continue to see it grow, man. And then hopefully these girls will do their homework on the history of the WNBA, unlike some of the guys in the NBA who don't do their homework when it comes to NBA players, as we saw the disrespect of that one person saying John Morant would have been the greatest player if he had played in Jordan's era. I can't believe that, but I don't know, man. I don't get the John Morant.
He's still playing? Oh yeah, he's back with Memphis. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray Dean's in here. He says, watch out for the Cowboys this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL here. Don't worry, Ray. We got you covered. Tim's Rudy, you got to ask Jeff the question about Cooper Flag in a Spurs uniform. Got to happen first. I mean, I'll ask Jeff. In fact, Jeff's going to join us Saturday a couple of times, I'm sure. Saturday at the Big Texas Comic Con. So we'll talk to Jeff around that time. I'll ask him about the Cooper Flag for you guys there as well. But WNBA Finals, it's going into overtime, 84-84 right now. I believe it's 0.2 seconds, but that's definitely not enough to get it going there. So MLB, Derek, we're going to switch over to some MLB talk because the playoffs for MLB are getting pretty darn interesting, if you ask me, man. And here's going to be our MLB preview. All right, so today you had the Yankees defeat the Royals. Yankees are taking the 2-1 lead over Kansas City, and one game sudden death, man. Detroit and Cleveland all tied up at 2, going back to Cleveland. Cleveland was my pick to win the World Series. I picked them. They're in a battle right now with the Detroit Tigers, with your Detroit Tigers, man. It's the Yankees, the Royals. I'm surprised, the Yankees haven't taken care of the Royals in 3. I figured it would have been a 3-0 sweep. The Royals are here to play, but man, I'm looking at the Tigers like I didn't expect that from the Tigers, man. I really didn't. Not against Cleveland.
Well, a lot of people didn't get them. They're the only team in history that has no player in the top, I'll say 10, 20 of any category. They're the only team in history. Not one player in the top of any category. So that's the definition of a team. But what scares me is sometimes, your bubble bursts when you don't have that superstar. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I was hoping we put the Guardians away tonight at home, but we came up short 5-4. So the last one's going to be a rough one, man. I'm hoping we can pull it out, but it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, the other exciting series, Dodgers and Padres, they're both knotted at 2 apiece. Dodgers won the last game 8-0. I out of all the playoff series, that was the one that I circled as the best one so far, and they were going to go back and forth. So I'm wondering,
you're not getting anything from
Shohei
Ohtani. And then on the other side, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis Jr. has been on fire.
Yeah.
So I would be trying to avoid him a little bit. If I'm the coach, I might have to pitch to him a little bit like if he was Barry Bonds.
Yeah, and it's funny because Ohtani, I mean, the season that he had, this is his first playoff series, his first playoffs. So I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know. I mean, playoff baseball, basketball, football, it's totally different from regular season. If you've never been there, it's a whole different monster, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, but then again, it's the Dodgers, it's the Padres, man. It's a great series. They're going back to LA. I'm gonna stick with the Padres beating the Dodgers. I still think they're gonna win. They're the hottest team at the end of the year, one of the hottest teams at the end of the year. They've continued into it. I fully expect the Padres to beat the Dodgers in Game 5.
You do, huh? I'm gonna take the Dodgers in that game. I still want to see the Dodgers in the World Series. I know it's going to be a tough road to get there, but I figure out somehow they're going to win that last game at home. I think this one, the home field advantage is going to pay off. I hope it doesn't for the Guardians.
Come on,
I hope
man.
it pays off for the Dodgers.
That's my pick, the Guardians, man. You got Dodgers and Padres tomorrow night. It's going to be Darvish for the Padres, Yamamoto for the Dodgers. And then October 12th, we've got the Tigers and the Guardians, and the Royals and Yankees. Yankees looking to close it out right there. Royals looking to tie the series up to go to a Game 5. But Tigers and Guardians, you're going to have Skubal for Detroit and Boyd for Cleveland on the mound. So we're going to get some.
What did you say about the Yankees and Royals?
The Yankees are going to be looking to close out the Royals.
They're closing it out right now. They're up 3-1 in the top of the 8th.
Well, I mean, they're going to go, well,
that would be it if the Yankees win. They lead 2-1.
You know what? That game's not even done. I'm sorry. I'm thinking the game's – I'm way off tonight. I get a final from the WNBA, and it's not even over. Yankees are still playing. I apologize to all of our listeners, man. Jeez, I'm going crazy right now.
They know, man. We
Yankees.
human beings, man. We make honest mistakes. It wasn't intentional. So, hey, we keep it moving. Rudy, I'm looking at this game. Can you believe the home team, the Liberty, haven't scored yet in overtime?
Nope, 86-84 right now.
88-84.
88-84 now, with Minnesota on top of the New York Liberty in the WNBA Finals. It's gonna be a great series, man. I can't wait.
Upset, man.
Who's that?
I'm not even upset. I picked the Liberty, but I like Connecticut. I mean, not Connecticut. I like the Minnesota so much, man. You remember when we were talking last night with Speedy, and we were talking about the Boston Celtics playing the right way?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you transfer that to the WNBA, it's the Minnesota Lynx. They play the basketball the right way. And each one of them believe in each other. They play hard on both ends of the floor. They move the ball. They get high percentage shots. Just real basketball, man. I'm excited to see it. It's more exciting actually for me than the NBA, to be honest.
I prefer, women's basketball, majority because I like the way it's played. It's played fundamentally, and that's the reason why I like basketball. I'm a fundamental type of guy, so I don't disagree with you on that at all. Excuse me, sir. Let me get a drink of water real quick here.
Let's go, Tigers.
Excuse me, as I'm battling allergies. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back here. Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out.
2, 1.
Well, as you guys can tell, Derek Irvin doesn't miss anything. If you don't want to miss anything as well, go to YouTube. Search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber today. We're giving away a bunch of prizes and stuff. Be a subscriber today so you don't miss, just like Derek never misses. Subscribe to Sweep the League.
We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand stronger. We build a legacy, yeah, they know the name. STL music, it's a movement, not just a claim. Loyalty, respect, that's the code we honor. In the face of adversity, we stand stronger.
Welcome back, Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Hopefully, I don't have another choking incident here and coughing spell because that's kind of crazy. A little happened there, but if we do, we'll go to a commercial. NFL talk, Derek. Right now, we're going into week 6 of the NFL. Tonight, 49ers are playing the Seahawks. It's going to be it's 23-17 heading into the fourth quarter right now. We're going to go over preview some of the games right now. I know Gio wants to go over some college football. We'll save that for when he comes on. But let's go to our NFL preview this weekend coming up here for week 6.
Yeah.
You've got Jaguars and Bears. Caleb Williams coming off of his best game last week. People are saying that it's going to continue this week against the Jaguars. I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, Jaguars are struggling all year long. If he has another good game, he probably has another good game. But again, Jaguars are probably a bottom tier team. So can you really judge off of that game as well?
Oh man, I don't know. Caleb, I'm still not on the Caleb bandwagon yet, so I have to see him do it against a really good team before I can start changing how I feel. Right now, I think they were fortunate last week, but we'll see what happens Sunday. But I got to see a little more from Caleb. You know, they beat the Panthers, and didn't the Jaguars win last week though?
Yeah, Jaguars did win. Now this game is in London, so I don't know if that makes any difference, but
I'm picking the Jaguars. I'll wait till tomorrow, but I just think the Jaguars. That's a toss up. But
yeah,
I think the Jaguars are playing pretty good football. I don't think they're really that bad a team as their record is showing so far.
Yeah, and I think the trip across the pond, Caleb's never done that. I know Trevor and a few of the Jaguars, they're veterans. They've done that. I don't know if Caleb's ever had a trip across the pond, so it kind of screws up with your sleep schedule. Kind of screws up with your days and your times. And as a person, because you played overseas before, and it's not the same time frame. You got it. It takes a little bit of adjustment.
Takes discipline. Yeah, you got to be resting. Tell me this, Rudy. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Will he ever? What do you think? Are we going to see the ascension of Trevor Lawrence, or have you already think he's peaked as far as is this as good as he's going to get?
I would say as a Jaguar, yeah. I think if he goes to another team, you may see a better version of him depending on who the coach is. But as a Jaguar, yeah, this is probably the best you're going to get out of Trevor Lawrence. Now, they gave him an ultimate weapon when they drafted Brian Thomas Jr. So I like what I see between him and Thomas Jr., but as a Jaguar, yeah, I will say this is probably the best you're going to get out of Trevor Lawrence here. You got Cardinals and Packers. Cardinals with the upset last week. Packers are just kind of steadily going along. It's going to be in Lambeau Field. There's a little bit of turmoil in Green Bay with Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver. He's pretty upset about his playing time. You can tell the body language. He was out last week. There's video of him and the coach is kind of like, hey. He's like, hey. So I don't know if that plays any factor into it. The Packers didn't look bad. I think that Jordan Love's going to have a pretty decent game this week. We're not making the picks today, but, the Cardinals and Packers, there's really not much on that game I can get into other than I just like, the Packers probably are going to end up coming up with victory on that.
Well, Jordan Love is not so far, even when healthy, is not looking like the guy that we thought when they brought him in and they let go of Aaron Rodgers. He showed some signs of being a superstar.
Yeah.
And watching him, I haven't seen that yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how his path goes because I expected a little more. So we'll see what happens as we move forward.
Philadelphia Eagles going against the quitting Deshaun Watsons. I mean, Philly, I don't think has a problem with him, but this is where I look at it. You cannot play that guy anymore, man. It's already a joke. Why are you going to allow Deshaun Watson to even suit up? He shouldn't have even made the trip to Philly. There's no reason why.
Now, you saying that. Now, what if they were to come out and win against the Eagles and he was to go for, I'm not going to say 300 because I know that's not going to happen. But what if he were to come out and go for 250 yards and a win?
Uh, I'm still not buying it. I don't think I'm buying it. There's no. I just don't see.
You're not buying. You just can't see it.
I mean, you've had him for a while, and he hasn't really done anything for a long time. This is Houston days.
But
So
you don't think he's gonna lead them to a loss every time he plays this season? There's got to be one week that he's kind of like the guy we saw in the past.
oh man.
I said kind of. I didn't say the same guy we saw with the Texans. I'm trying to have wishful thinking for the guy.
I'm trying to think if he played in preseason, because if he did, maybe he looked good in preseason. But I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna get the same, even a minute version of Deshaun from Houston. I still say you just start Jameis Winston. You put Deshaun on the bench. He's your backup quarterback. Try to light a fire under his butt. That way, if you do want to use him later on, he comes in with a little better attitude. But
Jameis Winston. Oh my goodness.
I mean, Jameis gives him a good
I'm
chance to win.
I'm not arguing because I was just thinking about, because we talked about all these other quarterbacks like the Russell Wilson situation. If you take Justin Fields out and put Russell in, can you go back to Justin Fields? I guess I won't say the same about Deshaun. Hey, if they sit him down, I guess that means they're content to move forward. Now here goes the thing: what can you do other than cut him if things don't pan out? Because I don't see any team wanting to trade for him at this point in his career.
So there was I can't remember who was reporting it, and it wasn't even a reporting. It was just him, spitballing, and it made sense. You can trade Deshaun Watson. There's a team that'll take him, but you're gonna have to attach, this year's first, maybe next year's or a couple years first, and maybe a second somewhere. You're gonna have to sweeten the deal with some draft picks. And a team like Carolina, who has enough cap space to take him, they might take him. I mean, just to take him and just to cut him. But the other part is, well, yeah, the other part is that not only are you going to trade him, like say they trade him to Carolina, Carolina cuts him. Carolina's not going to eat up all of that the dead cap space. They're going to make Cleveland eat some of it up too. But what they're interested in are those first round picks. Right now, the Browns look like probably a top 6 or 7 pick in the draft. So I'm thinking if I'm Carolina, I'll take Deshaun Watson if you're giving me a first round pick coming up. I'll definitely take that. So you'll have teams that might be interested in him, but you're going to have to attach a lot of draft picks.
It's only because of the draft picks, Rudy, because if you look at it the way he's playing, and then you look at the off the field stuff that he went through with the 24, 25 women.
Yeah.
That's something, that kind of make a guy kind of become untouchable.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been thinking about. I don't even know if the teams would want to even take the gamble, even getting the draft pick. I don't know if they even want to waste time bringing Deshaun in and having to go through the trouble of cutting him. And I don't even know at this point if teams are willing to do that. So, for me, if it doesn't work out here, we could be talking about the guy's career being over at a very young age.
I think the career is Rudy, I'm just going to say it's over. It's over.
The guy had an 8.3 quarterback rating in one game and 8.5 last week. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's over.
It could be all over, but everything but the crime.
I mean, GM Rudy is making the call to Cleveland and saying, well, I'll take Deshaun, but what are you going to give me on top of that? Am I going to – this is what I want. I'll take Deshaun. I want 3 first to include next year, and I want a second, and I want maybe a couple of fourths spread out. You give me all that draft capital, I'll be glad to take Deshaun Watson from you. Yeah, and I'll cut him myself.
You're making one of those Rudy Gobert trade, and it makes sense. I mean, I have to have a really, really special package.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I agree with you, and I hate to be saying this about Deshaun, but man, I mean, come on. I don't even think the guys in the locker room at this point. I think they have no faith in him at all, and that's bad. So that's never good in your locker room.
Well, when you're on 4th and 1, I believe, and the coach is giving you the play to go for it on 4th and 1, and you walk to the sideline, you're just like, no, we're not doing it. The coach was pissed off. And it was like, what are you doing? He just quit, man. He just quit on the team right there. So yeah, the players don't have any respect for Deshaun Watson, and that's why I said bench him. If you want, you have Jameis
But you know
Winston.
where that's coming. That's coming from a higher. That's coming beyond the coach. I think if it was up to the coach, he would already been benched.
Yeah,
You got to look at the general manager, vice president, the people that invested in him, spent that money, that $230 million. I think they're making the call in this situation, and I think it's out of the coach's hands. But I'm sure if it was up to the coach, man, he would have told that guy to go home and don't even show up again.
I agree with that. And Jacob Eric's talking about that contract. Well, I think you just joined in, but that contract is okay if you have the cap space to eat it. I would take the contract, but like I was saying, it's got to be loaded with draft picks attached to Deshaun Watson because I'm taking a problem off your hands. You need to reimburse me with a lot of stuff. So yeah, the contract is bad, but it is what it is. Another Josh Primo career over. I don't know if I'm gonna go that far with Deshaun. It was similar, but not that far with Josh Primo. But yeah, I'm probably making Deshaun the third quarterback on that roster behind Winston and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think Deshaun just needs to just go.
Primo actually got a look this past season.
Chicago when he got cut though. But.
Yeah, so Deshaun, if he doesn't pan out here, that could be it. I just don't see it. I could see him playing in the CFL or something, Arena League. But other than that, I really think the NFL, it's going to be hard for him to rebound from the way he's been playing, and then the off the field events. Man, it's been sad, and to see his trajectory go from where it was with the Texans to where it is now, man. I kind of feel for the young man, even though he's getting paid, he's getting the money. But Rudy, the love of the game sometimes outweighs the money. And guys don't want to go out like this. They want to be able to play. And I don't think he's going to be able to after this. I don't think he'll be able to recover.
Yeah, no. I mean, I really think his career's done. I put it out there. I'm gonna say it. It's done. Even if he goes out and has 305 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and he makes the Philadelphia Eagles look like the Carolina Panthers, I don't really care. I mean, it's still done for Deshaun Watson. Quick update: WNBA Finals. Minnesota goes on the road to New York and beats the Liberty in Game 1, 95-93.
Do you remember how LeBron looked that series against Dallas? I believe it was 2011.
Yeah.
With J.J. Barrera and Jason Terry. Well, I'm going to say this, man. Looking at this game tonight, Breanna Stewart, oh, Rudy, it looks like she was taken out of her game completely. And she's familiar with Nafisa. And what school did they both go to? So there is some familiarity. Both went to Connecticut.
Yeah.
It looks like she has Breanna's her number, man. And I'm saying that already in this Game 1. I'm serious. She just took Breanna out of her game.
Well, I mean, that's why they play the games, man.
I can't see many adjustments that they can make where they can get Breanna in the game, because every game, Nafisa is going to be on her. And I don't see many adjustments they can make that's going to make a difference. I'm still going to go with the Liberty because I'm not going to change my pick after the first game, but it doesn't look good.
We're going to have to break down the Liberty links a little bit more here. Maybe later on in the show, we'll break it down a little bit more. If not, maybe we'll get to it tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely want to break it down a lot more because I'm starting to think, well, if Breanna's taken out of her element, then what do the coaching staff for the Liberty do to get her back in? Like you said, there's not very many adjustments you can make for her, but there's got to be something to at least help her in some sort of way. I don't know. I'd have to go through the game film on that. But going back to NFL football, I mean, another game to watch there because the Buccaneers and Saints. Reason why? Remember, if you remember correctly, I said Spencer Rattler, my number one guy in the quarterback. He gets the start this week. I remember telling Leha when we were doing our NFL preview, Leha was like, oh, Derek Carr. I said, whoa, hold on. They've got 2 good quarterbacks after Carr. They've got Jake Hayner and they've got Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler will probably start midway through the season if Carr's hurt. Well, we're going into week 6, and I'm telling you, he's getting the start. and I don't know if he's gonna come out, guns slinging and everything, but I mean the kid can play. So do you think he's gonna go and ball out on his first game against the Buccaneers? That's kind of a
Well,
tough
you
go.
said Carr. If Carr was hurt, only thing hurt is that right here in the heart and that brain now. Because we've seen Derek Carr. Even when he's with the Raiders, he can become what I call a malcontent if he's not happy. And I think Rattler's going to actually play well in the first game. I think he's going to move the chains. I think the guys are going to have a little more life.
Yeah.
And that we talked about locker rooms again. So we're going to see what happens. But sometimes you have these quarterbacks that you anoint them as a starter for the year, and then you have to bench them. And when you bench them, things don't always go well after that in the locker room chemistry. And then you got players picking sides because you got the guys that still think Derek Carr should be starting, and then you're going to have those that support Rattler. So we'll see how that goes. But I think Rattler's going to have a pretty good game his first game.
So do I. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. I don't know he's going to be balling out, but I mean he could. The guy is a hell of a quarterback.
He might outplay Baker.
Yeah, I would probably say he probably could outplay Baker. I think so. And the one to watch is Lattimore versus Mike Evans. Every time those two guys hook up,
that's going to be physical.
Oh yeah, every time these two guys link up, there's fights, there's punches, it's everything you want from old school football, man. I remember Cortland Finnegan and Andre Johnson. I know you remember that fight when he ripped off the helmets and they were punching each other.
You talking about a guy that takes no nonsense, Cortland Finnegan. No nonsense, back down from no one.
Oh God, no, man. If I was a receiver and Cortland was guarding me, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have some issues.
You already know going into the game, you're gonna have to strap it on because you know it's gonna be a physical game, and he's gonna be there entire time. Just a pest, I'll call him. Guys like him, man, they're just a pest. And even if you're not into play, Rudy, they still got to get those hands on you and just to let you know they're there.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of matchup that I like seeing, and that's going to be a really good one.
It's going to be a really good one. And then what's also going to be good is the next game is the Commanders and the Ravens. Now, this is a game where I think I really like the Commanders this weekend against the Ravens. The Commanders have been balling. Jaden Daniels is playing like a man possessed. But here's why. The Commanders can go to 5-1, Derek, and take a commanding 2.5, almost 3-game lead over everybody in that division. I would have never expected that. I had the Commanders as probably the third best team there, but to put the separation in that NFC East is huge, and I think they get it done this weekend. I'm probably going to roll with them, but our picks are going to come in tomorrow. But this is to me, this is probably game of the week for me. I know you got Cowboy and Lions, but I like the Commanders right now.
You're going to see what kind of composure the young man has, McDaniels, because on the other side of the field, sometimes you can get a little, I won't say psyched out, but you can look over there and you like, oh, my goodness, I'm going against Lamar, MVP. Mm-hmm. And so you want to have a good showing, and sometimes you start pressing. And that can happen when you're playing against a guy that is headed to the Hall of Fame. You already know he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
So when you own that, sometimes like a boxer, these guys can talk all that nonsense in press conferences. And then when they actually get to the ring and they see Canelo or they see a Mike Tyson, it's just something happens to you. And so we're going to see exactly what the young fella is made of. We got to remember he's still a rookie. But that's going to be a tough game. And to me, it comes down to Derrick Henry, I think, more so than the quarterbacks. If Derrick Henry can come out and get one of those 150-yard games, then, that'll take a lot of pressure off Lamar and that offense. But that's going to be a barn burner. That might be one of the top 2 games for me to watch. That one and, of course, the one we already talk about, my hometown and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I will say that the Commander Ravens for me is probably game of the week, but I'm not gonna leave out the Lions and the Giants and Big D, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Jared Goff leading the Lions down there to big Dallas against Dak Prescott and the boys. The Cowboys are not favored at home, and they really shouldn't be. I mean, their 3-2 record it's almost like the Chiefs.
What did you
Shouldn't
say?
be shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be
Who's
there.
favorite?
The Lions are favored by 3 in this game, and they should be. They should be.
Well, I think that's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to come down to our running backs, to be honest. I don't think Dallas has an answer for Montgomery or Gibbs. And I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Plus, our defense is a little better than last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And then on the offensive side, we might be one of the best teams in the league, definitely top 3, I think, offensively.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to get the Cowboys some problems. And if you look at it, Dallas really hasn't looked great. And if you go by their last 2 wins, who were they against, Rudy?
Pittsburgh was 1, and
Justin Fields averages 17 a game.
Yeah. And was it Giants? Was it the Giants for a week before?
No, they didn't just beat the Giants. They got the Giants after this on the 6th game of this trip.
No, but they played the Giants before.
But that was a while back, wasn't it? The 15-10 game.
Oh yeah, you're making me look back at now because
they didn't just. It wasn't the Giants.
So I mean, in all honesty,
they beat 2 mediocre teams.
Yeah, it was the Steelers and Giants back to back.
Oh, okay, mediocre.
20-15 in New York, and then 20-17.
So Dallas has scored 20 both of those games.
Yeah, they scored 20 after everybody was, gung-ho Cowboys after the Browns in game 1, which, I mean, come on, we saw what the Browns are. Big loss to the Saints.
20 points, huh? And they wouldn't bring in Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you go figure, right? You're killing Cowboy fans by talking about that because
hey man, it was sad. I still tell you I can't understand that. You look at their lineup. I know the guy Dowdell had a good game, but Tony Pollard gets away. Ezekiel, we know, is just a shell of himself. Basically, he's become more like a Fridge Perry type guy. If you need a yard or 2, William Fridge Perry. I said that. That's Ezekiel now. So it's going to be a good game, but I'm not supposed to be biased, but I want to see the Lions come out and have a good game. I have to be truthful about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we're picking early, I'm taking the Lions, no doubt about that. I think Montgomery and Gibbs have a really big game. Aiden Hutchinson's going to make it
superstar.
tough.
Superstar.
Yeah, he's going to make it super tough for Dak Prescott to be comfortable in the pocket. So I'm expecting the Lions pull the win out, but again, we're going to get our picks in probably tomorrow. The other 2 games I want to get to are the last 2. Bengals and Giants on Sunday night. Doesn't really scream, big time, but Danny Dimes has been a quarterback on a mission lately, and it's weird because Joe Burrow is putting up like MVP numbers lately as quarterback for the Bengals, but it doesn't show in the record. So I was thinking, this weekend, okay, Bengals are probably going to take care of business, but I don't know, man. The Giants have been playing really good ball, and they're getting Malik Neighbors back, I believe, this week. So nothing tells me that the Bengals even are remotely, close to being a big favorite in this game. They're favored by 3.5, but I almost would roll with the Giants with the way they're playing and then the way the Bengals are playing, man.
Well, this game will tell everything for the Bengals the rest of the season. This game here will tell how the rest of their season is going to go. Are they the team that we think that can still rebound, even though it's getting a little dicey now, getting a little late? Yeah. Or are they just a team that's done for the year? Because if they lose this game, there's no coming back from that. And like you said, the Giants have been playing better ball. Daniel Jones has been playing better. They've been playing pretty good on both sides of the ball. And if they can keep the score down, which I think they're going to do, like you said, Burrow's still been getting the 300 and whatever yards, 390 yards. But in the clutch time, he's kind of been held, they've been holding him back a little bit. I mean, his own coach by not letting him pass the ball. So I think there's problems going on in Cincinnati, and this is a must win. If they lose this game, they're just planning to get paid the rest of the season because the playoffs will be done.
Yeah, if you go 1-5, I mean
Oh,
1-4 is, I mean, pretty much
1-5.
impossible.
You look 1-5. You
1-5, and we're counting you out. Like we've already counted out the Washington Wizards in the NBA, so it's pretty much the same idea. That's kind of what we're talking with the Bengals. You get one more loss. If you go 1-5, yeah.
Rudy, did you see this happening though? Because we know last year, Burrow was hurt, right? So he comes back.
Yeah.
And then they show some signs, and everybody's on that. They believe in Cincinnati because of the way they've played the last few years.
Yeah.
And you see them kind of spiral like this, man. They look like the Eagles looked at the end of last year. And at no point have I felt, even when they have a little lead, there's been no point where I felt like I did last year or the year before, where once the Bengals get on you, they're going to continue to extend that lead. Now I haven't had that feeling since late last year. I think anytime you're playing against them, you play 60 minutes and just see what happens. I don't have confidence in them finishing games.
Yeah, neither do I. And that's why I like the Giants this week. But what's crazy is you could potentially have 3 teams tied at 3-2 in the NFC East after this week if the Cowboys beat the Lions, which that's a big if. But I'm thinking about 3-3 because the Giants would be 3-3 if they win. Cowboys would be 3-3 if they lose. Eagles would be 3-2 if they win because they had a bye week last week. But that's why that Commanders game is so huge for them to win against the Ravens, because going to 5-1, say the Eagles lose, they go to 2-3, you're going to have a commanding, 2-game lead in that NFC East. And then if you look at the Cowboys, Lions, Niners, Falcons, Eagles, Texans, Commanders, Giants again. That's 7 games the next 7 games for the Cowboys. This is where they are going to either make the playoffs or miss the playoffs.
Make or break right here. Make or break.
Definitely.
They better win this game against the Lions. Because if they don't,
they need to.
But if they don't, we're going to start hearing the whispers.
Wow, man, they're already screaming right now.
Mike McCarthy, you already know how the fans can get a little antsy. And they don't win this game, man, I'm telling you, heads are going to roll. Jerry's going to talk a good game, him and Steven. If they were to lose this next game, Jerry's going to try to, stay calm, make sure, everything is fine. At least that's what he's going to say publicly. But behind closed doors, man, if they lose this game, Bill might be getting that call.
I don't know if they're
not even Bill. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna get the call.
Who's that?
Mike Vrabel.
Man, that would be a good hire. That would be a really good hire for them. And I mean, like I said, if Baltimore came out the gates struggling, I was figuring Harbaugh would have been gone, but I didn't even think about Mike Vrabel. That's a good one. I really like that one right there. So one coach that's not going to be on the sidelines this weekend, Derek, is Robert Saleh on a Monday night game. Buffalo against the Jets, going in to East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. This has the feeling of the Jets just annihilating the Buffalo Bills. It has that feeling. Your coach is fired. Everybody's, fired up to get back on the field. Aaron's going to come running down that tunnel, and you just feel like the Jets are going to be on fire this weekend, this Monday. I don't know, man. I have that feeling that the Jets are just going to be unbeatable.
What about the guys that supported the coach?
Well, I don't know, man. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
When you're dealing with Aaron, there's some that support the coach.
Well, Aaron came out.
I say it again.
Aaron came out and said that, well, it really was his fault because if he wouldn't have turned the ball over so much, Saleh wouldn't have been fired.
Did he throw those 3 picks on purpose?
Yes, he did. He did. Okay. He didn't throw them on purpose, but you know what you got to do to get a coach fired. Let's just put it that way.
Rudy, at this point in his career, man, I hate to say that about a pro athlete, but Aaron is just a different breed, man. He'll do whatever it takes to get what he wants. And I've been looking at it, man. I kind of question if he did that kind of stuff on purpose. We've seen the man go and throw 30-something, 39 touchdowns or whatever.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 interceptions, 4 or 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't think he's fell off that much, man. I think that he's just that kind of guy. I'm not going to say they were all 3 on purpose, but he didn't look as upset as he would in the past. So something had to change, and I think he's happy, but we'll see. Because, now that they got the coach Saleh out of there, Nathaniel Hackett's been demoted, right?
Well, he got demoted 5 minutes before Saleh was fired. So he got demoted, then they fired Saleh like 5 minutes.
But I thought they say he still was having his play calling duties taken away, and they said that Aaron understands it.
He still might have. I mean, but
yeah, I heard the last I heard is his play calling duties were still taken away, and that Aaron, I guess he said he understood. So we'll see how that plays out. But Nathaniel Hackett is the biggest reason that Aaron was there in the first place.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, and then moving forward is Devontae Adams. Will he decide that he wants to go there and put up with that stuff that we talked about? When you don't know who your coach is going to be next season, and who wants to lead one organization where you're unhappy and possibly step into another situation that might not be so favorable for you. So right now, if Devontae, I would say that the Saints look like the better option for him right now.
I still am giddy, and I'm a Falcon fan. I love the Falcons, but the giddiness of knowing that Devontae would be a Saint across from Olave, Shaheed. And then if Spencer works out, I mean, you've got a young quarterback, so Devontae would have a quarterback regardless if it's Carr or Spencer Rattler. I mean, you're going to have a quarterback there for a while. The problem with going to the Jets is you've got Rodgers this year, but like I said, there's no telling if Rodgers is back next year. So you're stuck in New York without a good quarterback.
If they go 5-5, Aaron might retire, man. Who knows? Aaron likes to go hiking and all that other stuff. If things don't go well, he's the type that'll walk out on the team. So that's what I mean. You have that kind of uncertainty over your head. And now that he knows he has power, see, that's the other thing that could backfire on you. Once they showed him how much power he has in New York now by making that move after 5 games. And some guys they take advantage of that, but they take advantage of it in a negative way. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. They don't look like the team that you and I picked to go to the Super Bowl.
No, they don't. I'm still sticking with them. I mean, it's only 5 games in. They could be worse. They could be the Bengals, as Michael Air Jordan Hilliard, your boy, is in here. No true momentum for the Bengals. I like the Commanders against adversity. After the golf 18 for 18 show last week, give me Detroit Lions this week coming up. And he says Buffalo's going to sneak one there at the end against the New York Jets. I agree with the Bengals losing. If he's taking the Giants, I'm saying I like the Giants. I like the Commanders this week. I like the Lions, but not so fast, my friend. I'm probably going to end up taking the Jets this week against Buffalo.
Michael Air Jordan Hilliard, I am on your side. I am also going with the Buffalo Bills. I say Josh Allen goes for 300 plus, and he goes for 3 or 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. I'm going Buffalo Bills.
Man, I might have to make a little side bet with you on that. I think he throws a pick against the Jets.
I didn't say no fumbles. I said no.
He said an interception. You said no interceptions. I think he'll throw
worry
one
about Josh more fumbling than I do interceptions, because he has a habit of holding on the ball too much when he tries to run.
Yeah.
You see, he almost got decapitated, wasn't it, last weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, so he didn't want to even go into the tunnel. And they want, he might have suffered a concussion last week, it looked like, trying to run the ball.
Poor Josh Allen, man. That's poor Josh Allen.
The MVP is gone, Rudy. He's not going to be MVP.
You don't think so?
Nah, at this point in the season, I think that's a done deal already. No, you got to be consistent over the year to win the MVP. Lamar was consistent all year, and then you can have one hiccup, but overall, I think Josh hasn't been consistent enough. And then that 35-9 or whatever beat down they took, he's just not looking like an MVP, and their team is struggling more than I expected. So it don't look like I'm going to get my Lions versus Bills Super Bowl, but of course the Lions will be there. So we'll see who they play against.
As long as the team that we picked to win the Super Bowl, the Lions, is there, I don't really care who's on the other side. As long as they win the Super Bowl, then we're both picking the Lions. But before we end the show and before we get into our last segment, our caught off guard segment, Jaden Daniels, MVP talk?
Right now,
he
has to be. I mean, what team is overachieving the most right now in the entire league other than the Vikings?
Kansas City.
So he has to be in the running right now with Sam Darnold. And I know some people like Sam Darnold. Yes, it's all about productivity, and he's one of the main reasons the Vikings are 5-0. So I would have Darnold, and I'll have the rookie right there. Right now, for me, they would be 1-2. Mahomes hasn't looked great.
He looks terrible.
Yeah, Lamar hasn't looked great. So C.J. Stroud hasn't looked great.
Yeah.
So, for me, those two guys will be right now at the top of the leaderboard.
I had to ask you because I was looking and thinking, like, man, Jaden Daniels, if they go 5-1, and I mean, he has another, pretty good game to get him there, got to start talking about him, possibly MVP. I mean,
he go
is he going to win it? No, he's not going to win it.
He go 5-1. He's going to be hanging out at Magic Johnson's mansion.
Oh, God, needs to be careful with that, man. Caught off guard moment right here. Let's go there. All right, man. Our caught off guard moment tonight is Charles Barkley's all-time top 10. People have a problem with it, but he's got Jordan, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt, Kobe, LeBron, Jerry West, Elgin, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. So people are pissed off because they're wondering why Chuck left Kobe and LeBron off of his top 5. I don't have a problem with his top 5. I mean,
I never argue anybody else's top 10.
Exactly.
So I have LeBron number 8 all the time. You want me to be honest? And on my list, you've seen my list before, and I have Kobe number 11. So I can't argue Chuck's list. That's what he has. And, I mean, if you really look at it, it's a heck of a list. But I don't have LeBron. These young people are on that LeBron train, but I've been around basketball all my life. Yeah. And for me, LeBron is the 8th best player I've ever seen. So I won't argue Charles' list. That's his list.
I'll say this much. I would like to see Tim Duncan on this list somewhere.
Well, so would I, but that means you got to do your own list.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what I'm talking about is looking at Chuck's list. I don't even know if I can knock anybody off for Tim Duncan if I'm thinking about it.
Well, if you look at this list, it's hard. A lot of people don't have Oscar Robertson on their list.
No, and he should be.
And then some don't have Jerry West on their list.
I think that's the one that people will say, well, Jerry's probably not top 10, which I can argue for that he is top 10. But I mean, if you had to get Tim on this list somewhere, I don't know where to put him, or who to take off. I mean, there's really nowhere in there. I mean, I like all these. In fact, if I have an argument, I think Magic and Bird are too low. But
yeah, that's Charles' list. But for me, Magic is number 5 all time, and I've got Bird number 7, one spot ahead of LeBron.
Yeah, I think Chuck was a little pissed off because Magic and Bird used to have his lunch every single day.
Well, he does have Bill. We agree on Bill Russell because I've got Jordan and Kareem 1A and 1B, and then I've got Wilt, and then I've got Bill Russell. So everybody's list is different, but I certainly don't have LeBron any higher than number 8, and that GOAT nonsense, man. I mean, come on, he's the GOAT of stats. He's not the GOAT of impact. Big difference, people. Stats, impact.
Huge difference. Huge difference. Somebody broke it down a little while ago, and we're gonna do one more real quick before we go. This is our last caught off guard moment, Derek. You know what is coming. It's the Ja Morant comment saying that facts. If Ja Morant played in 90s, he would have been the best player of that era. Nobody can guard him. People were coming at this
Who
guy.
said that?
left and
Anthony
right.
Edwards? No, I'm just kidding.
This was off of a Facebook post, off of Video Show 4 on Facebook, and I damn near spit out my water.
Did he
when I
even
was
make this
reading it.
dunk, Rudy? Because you know Ja is known for highlight dunks that he misses.
That was probably a miss. I don't think he makes that dunk. I doubt that.
In
But
the 90s, Ja Morant would be the best player.
it's.
I won't
it's,
argue
you know,
that. It could be the 1890s or it could be the 2090s. Definitely not the 1990s.
No, not, and to think that he's bodying Michael Jordan there on a dunk. I'm like, that's not the guy I
Little
would.
Ja Morant.
Yeah, that's not the guy I would put, because if Ja tries to dunk on a Lambeer, a Mahorn, it's not happening. And Anthony Mason, and Xavier McDaniel. I mean,
He
it's
wouldn't. He
not
wouldn't even
happening.
get that far in the paint to be trying that nonsense. Yeah, I love Ja. I love his game, but man, some of these people, when I hear them talk, they don't. But you notice the ones that do the most talking, Rudy. It's the ones that don't really go back and look at the highlights or whatever, the videos. They don't study the 1980s and 1990s
Yeah.
or the 70s. Because you go back and look, there is a lot. You heard what Speedy Claxton said last night. What did Speedy say about the skilled players? There were numerous skilled players in our era, and my era, and in his era. So sometimes people just say what they think. It's out with the old and in with the new. But for me, I've studied this game my entirety of my life, basically, and I've looked at all the different eras from the late '60s on. And I like this era, but it's more of it's become a horse competition now, a shooter around the world or whatever you want to call it, whichever one.
Yeah.
So I factor that in. It's not a very physical league, and I do think some of these guys will have trouble playing. They would have more trouble playing in the 80s and 90s than the guys in the 80s, 90s would adjusting to this no contact era.
And that's the thing, is that people really have to quit comparing eras, because you go back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, there's hand check. You can put an elbow on them, and I mean it's legal. I mean, it's harder to score back then.
You had to be fundamentally sound.
You did. You had to really dive deep into your bag of tricks to get a couple of shots off. And if you give those same guys the rules now, where you can't have any contact.
Touch him. I'm gonna name one guy, Rudy, that I interviewed last year. Just think about this, because this is Georgia's friend. Picture of Rick Barry, who a lot of people don't even talk about. We're talking about a flat-out scorer, a guy that can get you 50 on any night, or Pistol Pete Maravich. And we're talking about doing it when guys are playing you very physical. So picture them in this era, man. I'm just saying, you can't touch them. If they're scoring 50 when you can touch them, imagine what they'll do when you can't touch them.
So it's safe to say that the top 8 guys in the league from that era coming to this era, probably the 8th guy is averaging about 35, 34 a game.
Devin Booker scores 70 and Donovan Mitchell scores 70. They're good players, but neither one of them are great players.
No.
They scored 70.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those guys, I think probably,
35 is you're being nice. Jordan averaged 37.
Well, I'm saying the eighth best,
Top 8,
the eighth
yeah,
best scorer.
Well, I'm just saying that you can go
35.
80s and 90s, because guys like Alex English, who was the leading scorer in the 1980s. I'm picturing my brother, man. I'm picturing George. I'm picturing what's his name, Bernard King. I ain't not talking about Carmelo and these guys. I'm talking about the Bernard Kings, the Rick Barrys. Those guys will have a field day today, because they could play inside or outside. And if you look at it today, guys are mainly, they're either really good outside or they're really good inside. We're talking about players that could do both, that were more versatile. So that's just how I feel.
What do you think Adrian Dantley averages in this
today?
Era? Yeah.
And you can't touch him?
Yeah.
And he's around the basket.
100%.
And he's got the ball from the wing driving in. Oh, boy. I'm gonna say honestly, I'm gonna say 40.
I had 38, so we were close.
Shooting 56 or 57%.
Yeah.
Because he's not gonna be taking the threes. And people keep talking about these threes, but the teams that win the championship, are they winning from the 3-point line other than
No.
Golden State?
No, definitely not.
It's the teams that can go to the basket. It's the teams that shoot the mid-range. That's why Sacramento brought in DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is not a big three-point shooter, is he?
No.
He's a mid-range guy. And to win the championship, you're going to have guys that are mid-range. And Adrian Dantley was mid-range and shot a whole lot of layups.
Yeah. Yeah, Adrian Dantley. I was thinking, like, man, I wonder what he would average. I had him at 38. You had him at 40. Man, it's weird.
In the middle, 39.
Yeah, it's weird because people have asked me, like, man, when you bring up players from back then, man, could you imagine? I'm like, I really could. I mean, Maravich averaged what, 40, 50?
Yeah. Hey, Rudy, picture Larry Bird in this era. I'm talking about not an injured Larry Bird, a prime Larry Bird in this era, or Magic Johnson. And Magic, I'm not even talking about the scoring. Magic would average 16, 17 assists in this era.
Easily.
So we got Tyrese Halliburton. I'm talking Magic Johnson.
I mean, if you're talking point guards, Magic would be averaging 16, 17 assists. Stockton would probably be averaging about 12 to 13 assists easily. What's kind of crazy? How would it affect guys like Alvin Robertson? Because, he's a defensive guy. He can score, but I'm looking at his defense. So Stockton, all-time steals leader. Would the no contact affect the steals?
It might affect it with Stockton a little bit because Stockton got away with a lot of grabs.
Yeah.
Alvin knows the type of guy, when you put the ball on the floor, he's there. When the big men put it down, like a Rudy Gobert, someone like that, or MB not looking around and put it on the floor, Alvin's there. So I don't think it would have affected him as much because he was so quick and quick and can move his feet. So guys like him and Michael Cooper, I think it would only help them. This era wouldn't hurt them at all because they were guys that could slide their puppies, as Kendrick Perkins said. And I don't think it would affect them at all. And they have long wingspans.
Yeah, that was my curiosity was, how would it affect the defense? Now, I don't think Stockton is the all-time steals leader if he's playing in this era. Because like
it
you
would
said,
affect Stockton more than it would affect Alvin.
So Tim wants to know what a prime Derek Gervin, how much would you average in this era?
Healthy Derek Gervin in this era? I was a point a minute, Tim, when healthy in my era. So looking at this era, you giving me 30 minutes everywhere I play. If I played 30 minutes, I was getting 30 points. So in this era, man, I'm not going to toot my horn too much, but you're asking me to be honest, man. I think I would have lit it up in this era because it's a lot of one-on-one. And that's what I like. So I think I would have done quite well. I'll just say that. I won't give you a number, but I think I would have played well in this era.
I think I would average 2 points.
You see those two guys on the wall behind Rudy over there, Tim?
Yeah.
I think we both would combine for 70 points easily.
Man, that would be pretty bad. I could see that already. You and George playing, for San Antonio and back in the day, if y'all were able to play together in y'all's prime.
We played together one time in my life, and that was against in the summer league here in San Antonio. We played against Moses Malone when he was a Houston Rocket. His Houston Rocket guys. He had just got traded to Philly, but he was still living in Houston. So he had the Rodney McCrae's. I know if you remember that name.
I remember Rodney.
They had a point guard by the name of Alan Level. They had Robert Reed, rest in peace, from San Antonio St. Mary's.
Robert Reed.
All those guys were playing against us. It was myself, Keith Edmondson, George Gervin, Mike Mitchell, Johnny Moore, and some more guys. And we beat Houston. I had 37 and George had 35. That's the only time we've ever played together in any game in a professional setting.
Man, where the hell was I? What year was that? Was I even born?
I had just come out of college, so that was 85. We were playing at the original Jewish Community Center then over on Rector Street in the San Pedro area.
Oh, where? Okay, Rector. That's over there by what is that? The Grotto?
It's between San Pedro and Blanco in that area.
So that's like the Grotto. Isn't the Grotto there?
I don't know today if the Grotto. I'm not sure, but yeah, we played over in that area. It was a good game, man. We won, and that's how I got to know Moses Malone, Rudy. After the game, Moses was like, "Who is this young guy?" And so after the game, we probably talked about 20 minutes, and he told me how well he thought I played. And then a few months later, guess what team I was drafted by? The team that Moses and Dr. J was with, the Philadelphia 76ers. To this day, I still question. I don't know if Moses and Doc had anything to do with it, me going to Philadelphia.
Well, you know what? If they did, it got you in the league, man. I mean, you were drafted by Philly. You had a career in the Nets. I know the injuries got you, but they didn't get you forever. They took you overseas, and well, we've heard the stories about you overseas. So
they treat me over there like I'm a Michael Jordan or something. So I was happy. It ended up. My legacy is secure over there, and I'm happy. At NBA, I got hurt. It happens, but I was able to go ahead and resurrect my career overseas. So I think I had a good run.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it proves it because next weekend you're going into UTSA's Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So we're literally a week away, man. A week away after tomorrow is like your induction process, and it's going to be an amazing night. It's going to be a fun night for you. I know
you guys have already made it fun, Rudy. We did the photo shoot. I did the show earlier today on the ticket, and so things are already going well. I'm going to be meeting possibly with Jeff Traylor right after after our induction, doing a show with Jeff Traylor and those guys. So things are going well. My school's looking out for me, man. I want to give a shout out to thank them and Miss Ashley Peronsky for making all this stuff happen that's been happening lately. So thank you, sincerely, thank you, Miss Ashley.
Yeah. Ashley's doing a good job. In fact,
did you get your video?
I haven't got the video yet.
Well, that's why I got your email. She wanted to send you a clip of what you missed today on the show. So I have to thank her. She's been really helpful.
Yeah, they do a really good job. And not only that, we'll be out there on the 19th for the UTSA football game as well. So it's going to be a great Hall of Fame weekend. This weekend, we're going to be at Comic-Con. Saturday, it's going to be myself, Derek, and Shemaya. We're going to be out there all day Saturday. As long as we can be, come talk to us, go say hi. We're going to be interviewing some fans, giving away some stickers and some other stuff. So be sure to stop by the booth that we're going to have here at the Big Texas Comic-Con. But we're going to end this show, man. We're going to end this show. Get ready for the weekend. Hopefully tomorrow. We should be on tomorrow, but I think it's going to be about 9:30 when we come on. Just depends on what time I can get back home from the Comic-Con. So I'll keep everybody updated on the time for tomorrow, but we'll get in tomorrow. We'll have our picks tomorrow as well. So for Derek Irvin, Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr., until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, Knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night.
Are you a hockey fan looking for the latest on the Edmonton Oilers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and NHL news of the week? Barry and Carson Best bring it all to you on the Best Boys Center Ice podcast. They break down games, provide insider updates, and keep you up to speed every week. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join their hockey family.
Welcome to the Lean Left, Lean Right podcast, where spirited debates and open discussions reign supreme. Join hosts Rudy and Shemaya as they dive headfirst into the hottest topics in politics and beyond. They're all about seeking common ground without losing their passion for their perspectives. If you're ready for real talk and honest opinions, subscribe now and join the conversation.
Yeah. Number 30, Derek Irvin, do you feel the way? Reppin' UTSA legacy that we create. Didn't rise alone, Nah, it's bigger than me. The whole fam roll, run the blood, running deep. I wear that 30 for the squad, for the dreamers. Running uphill, but faith kept us believers. Gotta grind every minute, every play, it's a test. Chasing dreams, but success demands your very best. Dreams do come true, but they never come free. Every day the race too, gotta hustle to be the only thing that stop me. The man in the mirror, still repping number 30. UTSA, the vision clearer.
2, 1.
Well, as you guys can tell, Derek Irvin doesn't miss anything. If you don't want to miss anything as well, go to YouTube. Search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber today. We're giving away a bunch of prizes and stuff. Be a subscriber today so you don't miss, just like Derek never misses. Subscribe to Sweep the League.